Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Landon Hammonds. I'm here with Pride, and we're just UFC 268 preview. It's finally here. We were hyping it up last week. It's a big fight. We're both ready for it. It's going to be awesome. Pride, how are you doing? Go ahead and introduce yourself if you want to.
Yeah, as always, it's your boy Pride, bro. Look, I'm a little hyped up right now, bro. I saw the
press conference just ended like 15 minutes ago.
Not even, bro. It was great. And honestly, the thing is like, I was so focused on Zhang Wei Li and Thug Rose, and I was so focused on Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman that I almost gave virtually no love whatsoever to Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler, which on any other pay-per-view would be at bare minimum the co-main.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fight that, like, frankly, no one really talked. Like, people really haven't been talking about it. And by the way, real quick, before anything, Freddie, I'm not hiding from you. I'm never with nobody whatsoever. Freddie, come Monday, I'm going to be back. And when I come back, hear me when I say this, bro. I'm coming for blood, bro. I'm collecting my blood. But, Landon, you just saw it, bro. How did you feel? Because, bro, it made me ecstatic, bro. How did you feel actually peeping it, bro?
Ooh, oh my gosh. Let me tell you. Okay, I've been texting you all day about this press conference, right? Yesterday, I was like, this press conference is going to be fantastic. That's the best press conference of the year by far. Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, sure, but that was just a sell. That fight really did not have much significance. That was for money. We're here now. We're at two championship fights. We've got two of these fights with some beef. The Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is so respectful. I did not expect anything out of him, and he let Gaethje hear it. Now, I didn't expect that. I expect Justin Gaethje to say something, but I'm pretty sure Michael Chandler had more input towards Gaethje than Gaethje had towards Chandler. And we even heard Gaethje and Colby talk a little bit, which, you know, that is what it is, right? Very unlikely that's going to happen. Anything like there's going to happen, but Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington going at it once again, right? Because, listen, I don't care what happens in this fight. There's going to be a trilogy, right? I think we can both agree, right? Because Colby Covington is like, you don't think so? You think if Colby loses, he's done?
Yes, if he loses, maybe later down the line, if Kamaru Usman kind of like runs over everybody.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Like that, sure. But I don't know, like really sitting down and thinking about it, I think if he even gets it, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but the days of Colby Covington just getting a title shot because of his name, because everyone desperately wants him to get one, I think that kind of ends here because getting beat. And he got destroyed the first fight. And if it happens again a second time, it's going to be tough to make any argument for him.
You think he got destroyed?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. If you watch that fight, Colby Covington, he had some good moments. But overall fight was just destroyed.
I mean, he gave Kamaru his best fight, though, I feel like. Who do you think, while he's holding the title, who gave him his best fight?
You talking about
You can't say Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns got destroyed. He had one good punch in the first round.
Yeah, but hold on. Just because a guy gets knocked out doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't really give him a good fight.
Okay, well, that's true. But if we're going to talk about this, okay, the Gilbert Burns, the upside, right? The first round, he had the knockdown. And it was a good, it was flush. It was a legit knockdown.
Yes.
Colby stunned him. I would say probably 2 or 3 times. Wouldn't you say something in their first fight? That's just where I said he was.
But that's the point I'm making. He had moments.
Right.
If you look outside of those moments and you go, okay, what did Colby do? People go, okay. Like people say, oh, it was the times that he stunned him. And my thing is, bro, if the best moment of your fight is you stunning a guy,
yeah,
I don't know. Me personally, I just don't. Again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But my thing is, if we're just gonna say because Colby Covington stunned Kamaru Usman a few times, which might I add, the hits that he hit him with was some solid hits. Because I'm pretty sure anybody else in that division felt those hits. You can make an argument that they would be like, and forget stunned, they would be in a whole different dimension.
Right.
So, again, for me personally, I don't want to give Colby Covington too much credit because, like I said, if you really look at it outside of those stuns, Colby kind of really was a punching bag, especially round 3 and after, where like Usman just all of a sudden went into this gear that at the time a lot of people were questioning, does he truly have? He shifted into this gear where he kind of just did whatever he wanted and really had his way. So personally, I believe it. I mean, I've had people say that, oh no, he didn't get dominated, and it's not really one of those things that I'm willing to die on a hill on. If you don't think he got dominated, then you didn't think he got dominated. I don't think that's not really my hill to die on. But I do believe if Colby doesn't, if the only way I can see Colby getting a rematch would be if it was a situation of like a TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Sandhagen, right, where the fight was close and. If you're a fan of Kamaru, you're gonna say Kamaru won. If you're a fan of Colby, you're gonna say Colby won. You know what I mean? Like, then that instant, I think, yeah. But outside of that, especially with all the trash talk that he's kind of been doing, bro, like, eventually people are gonna be like, all right, you're
all talk.
Yeah, well, not really just all talk, but it's like the whole, song and dance routine. For instance, like Conor, if Conor lost to Nate Diaz the second time. Like, if he lost him the second time, there would be no need for a trilogy.
Right, okay.
Like,
Yeah,
Conor, you're chatting. You know what I mean? Like, Conor, you're chatting. You lost both times rather convincingly. At some point, you're going to have to try to look somewhere else. So that's kind of what I
see your point.
You know what I mean? I kind of see it. Because on top of that, look, if Colby loses, I mean, Gilbert Burns is probably going to want a rematch, right? Vicente Luque is kind of climbing up. Maybe Dana White's going to feel bad for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's going to give him a shot. And another guy who's frankly hasn't really been mentioned, like I want to say the last 6 months, Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's eventually going to need his shot. So,
well, I think we need to see what happens against Jorge Masvidal first before we can say Leon Edwards deserves that shot. Don't get me wrong, he has beat a lot of big people, right? But correct me if I'm wrong here. None of the guys he has beat have been title contenders, right? So he's going to have to go fight Masvidal. He's going to have to beat Masvidal probably pretty good if he wants that title shot. But which I think he's going to. I'm not saying Masvidal's going to win.
Right.
I think Leon Edwards is going to win, but we got to see what happens there first before we can say Leon Edwards, okay, you deserve the title shot. Especially when we're in a division like this, it's so competitive. Like, this is probably one of the most competitive divisions in the I almost said NFL, in the UFC. Colby Covington just looks so good. I mean, everybody in the top 10 is like, okay, we got to see what happens here because we really don't know what's going to happen. Now, me and you both said last week that Jorge Masvidal is probably at the end of his road, right? He's just kind of getting these pick'em fights right now where he's just like, okay, well, I need to get my name up there, but let's be real. You want to talk about domination? Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah, 100. Oh, yeah, that's not even domination.
Yeah, he like killed him. Like, it's not even on a level. Like, it's bad. So, with Leon Edwards though, he's sitting at 3 right now, I believe. So
yes.
He has got to win this fight. Let's say Colby loses Saturday. Colby drops. Who's 2? Who's sitting at 2?
Gilbert Burns.
That's right.
So the top 5 goes Colby Covington at 1, Gilbert Burns at 2, Leon Edwards at 3, Vicente Luque at 4, and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at 5.
Anybody in the top 5 is good contender, right? So, yeah, it's so competitive right now, but we need to. Okay, we got 3 fights to cover. We got 2 before this, and we're talking about Usman Covington. So, the feature bout for Saturday night is Justin Gaethje, who former interim title holder, number 2 ranked lightweight in the world. Whoever wins this fight gets a title shot. We know this. We know that is more than likely going to happen. So
that's something I kind of want to talk to you about.
Okay, Do you want to pull up those odds real quick for me so I can, because I totally came in here on prayer. So, anyway, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, they're like so similar when they're fighting styles. They're both brawlers. They will go at it, but if they need to go to the ground, they will. So, we're currently sitting at, let's see. Well, I thought there was the odds on here. But I know, oh, there it is right there, yeah. So, Justin Gaethje is the favorite as of right now. It's pretty close, though. I didn't expect it to really be that close, but...
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised Gaethje's the betting favorite.
Me too. Me too.
I'm honestly shocked that he's the best. I get why, especially with Michael Chandler coming off the loss from a guy that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was favored over Charles Oliveira in their fight. So,
I believe he was, yeah.
Yeah, so with him, I get that, but at the same time, Michael Chandler's a problem. So,
and the thing is, with the way that they both fight, Michael Chandler, sure, you see, okay, well, he is very short compared to Justin Gaethje.
Yes.
Look at the reach. If you're looking at the reach, he's got a big advantage. That's why he is so good, is because he's a scrappy little dude, but his arms are longer than just about anybody he fights. So he can do this little thing where he'll duck his head down like this, where he can't get hit because he's so short, and just swing those arms, just like he did.
He
Go ahead.
literally has the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Because he's short, it's a little easier for him to dodge. But with his long arms, he's not at a disadvantage where he's constantly has to close a distance and play up close. So he literally has the best of both worlds. And it's just shocking. I had Michael Chandler as the betting favorite.
I would think so.
If you would have asked me blind, I would have given it to Michael Chandler. I would have given him a slight betting favorite. So but it would have been close to the point where, like, me personally, I think this is a fight you don't bet on. That's
right.
Me.
Yeah.
I don't bet
100%.
I think Rose would probably the Rose Namajunas and Zhang Weili fight. They will probably give you a bigger
gain, bigger. Yeah.
And same thing with Kamaru and Colby. I think this right here is like high risk, but like the reward. I mean, sure you'll maybe get it, but the reward's really not worth the risk in my opinion.
100%. I agree. Yeah. So this is another fight where it's like, obviously you're like, well, Landon, any fight can end so quick and you don't really know what's going to happen. But this one especially, because it's just going to be, these dudes are literally just going to go out there and throw hands. Like, that's all it's going to be. They're going to meet in the middle of the octagon. They probably won't touch gloves when the bell rings, and they're just going to throw. That's all that's about to happen in this fight. So there's going to be fireworks for sure. Now, Justin Gaethje has said that, he thinks Michael Chandler... He said all these words about him, all this. He's talked all this and that about how Michael Chandler's going to take the first step back and whatever. He's just talking. He's trying to sell the fight, like you said. But with that being said, with all the stuff, the build-up, the advantages for Michael Chandler, all the trash talk going back and forth, the UFC Embedded. Have you watched Embedded yet?
Not for them. I saw a little bit of Colby and the Kamaru one. But like I said, bro, it's a shame because just a few months ago, I was being a clown and I was like, Justin Gaethje is the Jesus Christ of this division, and Michael Chandler is God, and these guys, like, that's how I was talking. And the fact that I forgot about them, I feel completely horrible. I feel like an idiot. But now for their Embedded, I haven't watched any of it.
So the reason I pointed that out is because Justin Gaethje we know he's been out for a long time, right? He hasn't fought, I believe, since the Khabib loss. Is that right? The last time he lost to Khabib, that's the last time he fought?
I believe so. I'll double check just to be on the safe side, but I want to say yes. I think.
Okay, so that was 2019, right? Yeah. So that's not good. Like, at all. That you cannot be doing that. Especially when you're in a fight with this caliber, right? So
it was. Oh, hold on. No, it was 2020.
It was 2020. Was it early 2020?
No, October.
Well, dang, I didn't think it was.
I thought it was. I thought it was earlier.
Well, either way, that's a year. That's more than a year.
Yeah, but that's still a year.
That's a long layoff. So
right.
You've got to look at that as like, well, what's going to happen? Because you got a guy like Michael Chandler who has fought. He fought in 2020, destroyed Dan Hooker, and then he fought against Charles Oliveira. Probably, he won that fight in the first round. It should have been stopped. We both agree on that. I brought that up, and we both,
you think it should have been stopped?
I think it should have been stopped. I think he was laying there. His arms were literally just like this. They were just there, and he was getting his head pounded in. I think the fight was over.
I get it. I mean, it looked like that. Like when the ref was asking him to say something, it looked like Charles Oliveira was acknowledging him. That's why I kind of really wasn't.
Listen, I'll say this.
That, but I could be wrong on that one. But me personally, I thought if that fight went another 15 seconds or maybe even 10 seconds,
Yeah.
It's getting stopped in the first round, 110%. Like
Listen,
10 more seconds on that round, I think it would have been stopped.
if the Covington Usman fight was a stoppage, then that fight was a stoppage. In my opinion,
Exactly.
I don't think the first Covington Usman should have been a stoppage. I think now it was early fifth round, right? So no, it wasn't. It was 50 seconds left in the fifth round. Still,
Yes.
Colby was hurt. Usman probably would have finished him, right? I think we both agree there. He would have finished him, but that then was not a finish. It was stopped way too early, in my opinion. But either way, that's besides the point. So we're just talking about the previous fights. So. And Michael Chandler fought great against Charles Oliveira. He fought a great fight. He just got caught. That's all it is. And sometimes that happens. And he said over and over and over again after the fight, you know, he wins with class, he loses with class. He said, I just got caught. He said I zigged when I should have zagged. That's key because it's like he knows if he was not. I believe he tried to exit left out of when they were throwing and Oliveira just did like a right hook and it just caught him and that'll do it every time. So. You know, that's just what happens. Like, it just happens, and he knows. He's like, well, that didn't go my way. I think I'm still the better fighter. I deserve to be in there. So, with all that being said, what is your pick for this fight? How does it end? 3-round bout. How does this fight end?
I got this thing going the distance.
Oh.
I got Chandler 2-1. I think we're going to see a tentative Michael Chandler in round 1. And the reason I say that is because in his mind, he probably believes I'm the perfect fighter. The only thing I need to do is come out round 1 a little easier. So round 2, I don't get caught in anything crazy. So that way, if he does hit me, I can have my, I can mentally be prepared for it. So instead of getting rocked, I just get stunned. I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see him kind of be a little distant, start testing. Because again, remember, him and Justin Gaethje never fought each other.
Right.
In a world where we have twos and three like twice in a lifetime, this is the first time these guys have fought, and this is something that even when Michael Chandler was in Bellator, this was a fight everybody wanted to see. That everybody was like, if Michael Chandler can come here, who's his first fight? And everyone said Justin Gaethje. And that now that we're finally getting it, it kind of sucks that we're getting it when they're both on a loss. It's kind of unfair, but I get it. These are still two top guys.
Yeah.
They're both within the top 5. So I got Michael Chandler winning by decision. Round 1, he's going to come out a little tentative just to start testing the waters to see. And then I think round 2 and 3, he's just going to ramp it up high gear. And again, since it's a 3-round bout, I think that kind of goes in favor of Michael Chandler because Michael Chandler's stamina is world freaking class. This guy can literally run for miles and not even take a break. Like this guy's, his stamina is world class. So with it only being a 3-round bout, I think that'll work in his favor because round 1 he can come out and just go, you know what, let's test the waters. As long as it's not a 10-8 round, I'm good. I'm not in a hole that I can't get out of. Then rounds 2 and 3, I expect him to ramp it up to the point where everyone's gonna start saying, okay, like a lot of people from round 1 are gonna start wondering, is Michael Chandler okay? And then round 2 and 3, they're gonna start saying, okay, he did it on purpose. He's testing the waters, and he went off to the races. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go Michael Chandler. Again, this one's tough for me. Because I see it, if it goes to decision, I don't see anyone dominating. I think it's going to be 2-1, whoever wins. But for just for this, I'm going to go Michael Chandler.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to have Michael Chandler win this fight. However, I don't think it goes the distance. I think these guys are just going to be throwing heavy. And I disagree with honestly, I agree with who you think's going to win. I disagree how they're going to do it. I think he's going to come out in the first round and throw so heavy. I think that's just how he's going to do that. He tries to end every fight in the first round. We saw it against Dan Hooker. We saw it against Charles Oliveira. All of his Bellator fights, most of them ended in the first round when he won. So, with that being said, I think he comes out throwing haymakers in the first round, and that could potentially be a 10-8 round Chandler if he comes out and throws that, because Gaethje is good when the bell first goes, right? But he likes to do the little leg kicks, keep his distance, throw jabs. He doesn't like to throw heavy in the first round unless he's very confident with what he's doing. I don't think he is because he knows he's not winning the matchup, right? So he's got to keep his distance with with the long arms of Chandler. He knows he needs to keep his distance. So, with that being said, another thing I want to say. Gaethje's last fight against Habib, sorry.
Yep.
He looked like a white belt on the ground. Period. That period point blank. Now he maybe sure he, he denied one of the takedown attempts. Sure, but when he got onto the ground, he looked like one of the dummies that they practice with in the gym. He was just laying there. Habib was all over him. He couldn't stop him. And Habib, is one of the best wrestlers in UFC all time, of course, right? Now, both these guys have wrestling backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
One of these guys is like a 2-time national champion.
Right.
That's Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is the better fighter on the ground. So, with that being said, give me Michael Chandler, rear naked choke, second round. I think he goes out in the first round and gets a little gassed. I'm not going to lie. I think he gets a little gassed.
Okay.
And I think his game plan is, all right, show him I'm going to stay on the feet and go for a double leg second round. Get him on the ground. Throw some ground and pound, but eventually he's going to give his back up because he's not going to be able to take the hits. That's just what it is. He's going to get the rear naked choke. Michael Chandler, second round choke, and early little prediction, Michael Chandler. I'm not going to say who I think is going to win the lightweight championship. I know who I think is going to win. I think we both can agree on who's going to win that fight, but I think we both know. But he's going to fight that guy. First name Dustin, last name Poirier. Next year. So... that's what I got for the feature bout.
Yeah, I the thing about you saying how Justin looked like a white belt on the ground, he did. The thing is I don't know if it was just because he kind of got a brain cramp and the pressure was too much and he kind of just panicked. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was the fact that it was Habib because, like you said,
that's also a possibility.
Yeah, he's one of, if not the greatest wrestler in the history of the UFC, and I don't think there's very few people who are going to debate that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it's just Justin Gaethje's just ignoring the ground game altogether. I don't know, and I think we will get the answer this fight. I think this Saturday we'll actually start to understand that, okay, is Justin on the ground kind of starting to lose his edge, and he's kind of falling away from it? Was it just a one-time thing? I feel like we'll be able to fully. Because listen, when I was watching it, I thought the same thing. If I didn't know better, I would have thought it was Conor McGregor trying to do groundwork. It was horrible. But I wanted. I've been waiting to see Justin Gaethje fight since then to see, is it possible that it's just because it's Khabib, that's why he couldn't do it? Maybe he froze. I've been waiting to see, but it's been about a year. I don't know really. I still don't have the answers. We'll find out the answer on Saturday. I'm just at this point when it comes to Justin, I think this is his last gasp in terms of being able to be a champion, because he was an interim champ and got dominated, and it was horrible.
It was bad. Yeah,
it was bad. I honestly, with that layoff, I thought he was contemplating retirement. That's how bad it was.
It was pretty embarrassing.
It was, and then he came back, and now that he's coming back, it's like, if you lose, Justin's really have to sit down and look in the mirror, because you got Beneil Dariush is going to eventually want a title.
Yeah,
you still got Dustin and Charles you're going to have to deal with. Never mind the fact that Islam Makhachev is in the wings waiting to get a title shot, and the way this guy has been, this dude is terrifying. Listen, he's the guy can't sell a fight for shit. Let's just call it.
Yeah, that's true.
He tries to talk and he tries to sound cool and edgy. I'm like, dude, shut up. He should not be talking.
Just go do your thing.
Just go in the octagon, beat people up, and go home. That's it. Mm-hmm. If you this is what I would do if I'm Dana. I hire a translator, right? Translate for him. But do not say what Islam says.
Yeah, change it.
Bro, I want Islam Makhachev to be a wrestling character where like the manager is cutting promos for him and he does all the talking. Is the Makachev can say thank you everyone for coming out. I want the guy to say, you know what? He said his opponent is a piece of garbage. He said F the guy. Like that's what you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but Islam Makachev, that guy is coming. So it's like for Justin, you need to get the win to solidify yourself because not only do you have you have this the same old Motley Crue, but at the same time, obviously Chandler's gonna go over you. But then you got a couple new guys who are gonna be like, hey, look, it's our time, and to make room for them, somebody has to get bumped off.
Right.
I don't think Charles will get bumped off, and I don't think Dustin will get bumped off. Regardless who loses, I don't think one of them will get bumped off like that. If Chandler beats Justin, he's obviously not going to get bumped off. Darush, I mean, maybe Darush, but then if he gets bumped off, that's probably going to open up for Islam Makhachev to come out.
Right.
And it's like, and on top of that, even though everyone believes this, look, Dana White has this weird thing for Conor McGregor. So if Conor McGregor comes back, all of a sudden he's in the title shot. So Justin Gaethje's in this weird place where, like, if I win, I really don't go anywhere. But if I lose, I could potentially lose everything if I go out and get dominated. So if Justin Gaethje, you better fight your hard out, kid, because it's crazy because like this is a lose-lose situation. If he wins, he goes nowhere, so it's a loss. So he just wasted his time. And then if he loses bad to the point where some new guys are going to end up being above him. So I feel bad for him at this point.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good one. That's definitely going to be one to watch. People are saying it's the people's main event, so it'll be fun to watch for sure. Moving on to our co-main event, we have Thug Rose Namajunas. I love watching Thug Rose. Thug Rose. It's so entertaining. I hope DC is doing commentary. You know what? Just do it for the co-main and kick the dude out. That's fine by me.
Just bring him in specifically because I don't
to yell Thug Rose. That's all I want.
Daniel Cormier is a phenomenal ringer, or commentary guy. He's phenomenal. But when he yells, he goes Thug Rose.
That's the best.
Hire him on retainer, and he's now a part of Rose Namajunas' camp.
Yeah.
And every time there's a promo and she's talking, after every sentence, you just see Daniel Cormier screaming Thug Rose.
Thug Rose. That would make my day. That would make it.
That's all I want.
Yeah. You know how many UFC fans would come because of that?
Oh,
so we got Rose Namajunas, Thug Rose, versus Zhang Wei Li, who is trying to get her belt back. We saw she lost by, oh my gosh.
Look at these. So remember when I said don't bet on yeah, I was wrong. I was uber wrong, bro. Because I know Rose Namajunas was the underdog. I did not realize it was like.
Man, that's kind of okay. Anyway, that is insane. That's something to watch. That's gonna change obviously until Saturday, but that's still crazy to me that it's that right now. So you see the odds right there. I mean, I don't even know what to make of that. So we got Zhang Wei Li, who is trying to get her belt back. She lost very bad, very embarrassing how she lost. If you have not watched that, just go watch that. Please go watch that. If you have 5 minutes, take that out of your day and watch that fight because that's how long the video is. I guarantee it.
And it's this. And when he says this is not like a metaphor.
No, it's bad.
Literally 5 minutes. That's all you need.
Rose Namajunas, who she's so good. I like how she bounces around the octagon and finds her. She's a little quick little combos and then gets out. She is in no room for danger. She's a really good fighter. She's fantastic. There's a reason she's the best in the world. She hit her with the head kick, and it's not like it was a hard head kick. It's not like it was powerful, but it hit right where you wanted it to. There was no guard to go through. It hit right on the jaw right on the chin, and she was done. That's all it was. She honestly did not have to go. She did not have to go back for second shots, but she did just to seal the deal.
Yep.
You have to. I mean, you have to, especially when it's a title fight. But so Zhang Wei Li, however, in her corner, she's got a lot former UFC fighter, featherweight, not featherweight, maybe featherweight. Hold on, I had his name in my head. Anyway, she's training with him. He's one of the best all time. He fought with Demetrius Johnson. He had like 2 fights with him. Won one, lost one. Oh my gosh. He's like an Olympic wrestler.
The dude who had that mustache thing?
No. He's got like oh my gosh, I can't believe I've gone blank. Is it Henry something? Henry.
It's not Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, that's who it is. That's who she's training with. He is training her for this fight. He has trained her.
Yeah, she lost.
For wrestling. He's trained her for a lot of things. And in the Embedded, they have watched that fight over and over again, and she has told him, or he was sitting there telling her, "See, if she's gonna throw this head kick, you need to throw a leg kick." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, like Henry Cejudo, and look, this is not a knock on him. He's a great fighter. Don't get it twisted. Like him as a fighter, he's great. Coaching the guy just doesn't. It's crazy because when he coaches people, he tells them the exact opposite of what he would do in a fight. Like it's bizarre. Like if in the Ultimate Fighter, he was coached against Joseph Benavidez.
Yes.
The guy was out, and look, when it comes to fighting, I'm not a Trevor Whitman. Okay, I'm not neither of that. But I know when you get hit, when someone throws a leg kick, or a head kick, you don't try to be like, oh yeah, like no, you the problem that Zhang had was simple. She got caught with the feint.
Yeah.
Like if you
faked the leg kick, went up top. That's all it is.
Faked the leg kick, went up top, and that's really what screwed her over. That's what screwed her over. And to be like, oh yeah, when you do that, no, all you do is you gotta keep your arm up, and you gotta have your arm absorb the blow, because if you do that and you're not fast enough to get it, guess what? That's her leg meeting your face. 9 times out of 10, the leg is gonna win. Unless you have a prime Chuck Liddell chin that you get hit with a crowbar and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're like that, a prime Alistair Ubering. Like, if you have that kind of jaw, okay, fine. But Zhang Weili doesn't have that jaw.
Right.
She doesn't. She has a nice jaw, but not a jaw that can take that kind of hit. And look, bro, like that when that leg kick touched her, and look, that first fight, I thought Zhang was gonna win. As soon as I saw Rose go up, even before it made contact, I was like, it's over. I knew it because just everything with that kick went perfect. She fainted, and Zhang Weili slid back and she immediately was off balance. So I was like, yup, if Rose just catches you with the tip of her toe, you're going down.
Because when she went to dodge the leg kick, whenever they dodge leg kicks, their legs go back, head goes forward, and
the arms go up like that.
Right.
So it's like, you know what I mean?
It's all it is. It's right here. That's all you barely hit right there, and you're on the ground. You're off balance. You're getting hit in the face by a pro fighter. Your arms are out of the equation.
Yep.
You're done.
You're gonna be done. And I was watching it. I was just like, I knew it was over. And it was funny because Zhang was like, I don't know why they stopped him. I'm like,
she was up trying. She was
off her face, bro. Like,
she was arguing the stoppage while she was tripping back or like falling back. Like,
yeah, and again, I was pulling for Zhang, and when I'm like, bro, do you even know where you are right now? Like, you're running away from the person you're trying to make your appeal in front of. That's not boding well for you at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, Landon, you remember that craze back in the day, do the jerk, where you basically were skipping backwards?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Jerk in the middle of the octagon, and instead of saying this, you were going backwards. I'm like, look, Jane, I love you and all, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I want to root for you, bro, but you can't say, oh, why'd you guys stop it? And then when they ask her, do you know what happened? Yeah, she swung and missed me. Nah, fam. There was stuff that happened after that, bro. Like, you're talking about like the beginning of the fight, G. Like, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened since, bro, and it still hasn't been put together. So, look, I feel bad for Zhang. I really do, because I think she's great. But I'm gonna tell you this right now: she came in because she had cut her hair.
Yeah,
and I saw that, and just the way she was, like her mannerism, her body language. Not only is she embarrassed, but she lost all confidence in herself.
100%.
Like, this is not the same Zhang Weili we saw a few months back when she came in with the title and she was just good. Where, like, you know what I mean? Like, she was telling Joanna Jędrzejczyk, shut up. You know what I mean? That's not the woman we see today. The woman we saw today was, frankly, dare I say, a shell of herself.
Yes.
And it's like, she's kind of just like in like it doesn't. I'll be honest, Landon, it does not look good for Zhang Wei Li at all, bro.
No. And you talked about her confidence being tanked. If you look across the octagon at Rose Namajunas, she is on top of the world. She is all through the Embedded. I've watched every Embedded episode all week. She has talked about nothing but I'm the best in the world. I'm here for a reason. I'm going to show it Saturday night.
And that was the problem that she was lacking her first time.
Exactly.
Her first one. The confidence was never there. Like, the talent was there, but there was no confidence. Now, Rose Namajunas with confidence,
That's scary.
This is like Francis. This is like if Francis Ngannou all of a sudden went to the women's strawweight division.
Yeah.
That is who kind of we're dealing with, and people think that's like, oh, that makes no sense, bro.
No, it does.
That's
Yeah.
how she fights. This girl is literally like a kangaroo with the power of God in her right hand.
It's crazy.
It's wild, bro.
So we've said all that. We broke it down. We've gave you the confidence. The what happened last fight. Who wins Saturday night? Do we hear and new? Do we hear and still?
And still this
And
one.
still.
I think it's gonna be another first round knockout. I
Really?
really do. I do. I think. Look, Rose Namajunas is physically, in terms of like her attributes and all that stuff, she's always had that.
Mm-hmm.
When she went into the octagon last time, her coach told her, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Trevor Whitman,
Yeah.
was like, "You're the best," and she was like, "I'm the best." He goes, "No, you're the best," and like
she-
he's making her scream it.
That gave me chills whenever I watched that over.
Exactly. And if this was the Rose in her first title run, she wouldn't have said that. She would have just been like sitting there rocking and whatnot.
Yeah.
The fact that now that she said it, she went on and executed. But then in the post-fight interview said, "I'm the best," without anyone telling her to say it. Tells me all I need to know.
Yeah.
This, like, Rose Namajunas is confident. Zhang Wei Li is where Rose was a few years back. That's where she's at right now.
Yeah.
Now, Zhang is young, so she can just go back and she can reclimb. Because she's this is still a young individual. It's not like she's like, past her prime or anything like that.
Right.
She still has the opportunity, to make some stuff happen. So, me personally, I think right now it's going to be Rose. And honestly, I think it's going to be the same thing. I think it's going to be another head kick. I really do. I think just the way it is, I think Rose is going to come in and go, "I want the head kick again. Like, I want to knock her out," because, again, Zhang feels like I didn't really lose. You know what I mean? Or she didn't really win. I just lost. You know what I mean? She's going with that mentality. And Rose is like, "Look, man, all due respect, I ain't trying to be rude, but let's call it what it is. I'm better than you right now. There's a reason why in the women's pound-for-pound rankings, I'm ranked above you. There's a reason. There's a reason I beat you. There's a reason why I knocked you out. This wasn't luck. It's just, unfortunately, you're good, I'm great. There's levels to this." And that's kind of what Rose is going to want to do. So, Lynn, this one, I got a first-round knockout.
I think. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be and still. We can both agree there. Yeah. However, I think it comes early second. I think first round, she's gonna be hurt. Weili's gonna go to her corner and be like, "What did I get? What did I sign up for?" And Namajunas is gonna go to her corner. I doubt she even sits down. She's going to be in that corner, and she's gonna be like, they'll be sitting there coaching, and she's just gonna be staring into that other corner. That's all she's gonna do, because she knows I have a job to do. She's gonna finish it within a minute of the second round. It's gonna be that. That's all it's gonna be. She's gonna get dropped. Weili's gonna get dropped in the first round, but she's gonna somehow make it out alive. She might get saved by the bell. I don't know, but I just feel like early second round she's gonna be hurt, and it's just gonna be over. We hear and still. Rose Namajunas is the equivalent. You said Francis Ngannou. I'm going to say Kamaru Usman of women's because she's so dominant. She's going to show she's dominant. She's going to defend that title for a while. I don't think we will see a change in the top for a while. So,
yep,
she's there, and she's got a great coach. Let
me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you something. Because clearly, obviously, there's two big dogs in the women's division, right?
Yes.
Valentina Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes, right? Those who are like the big dogs, right? Do you think if Rose ends up winning,
Super
Do you
fight?
think she'll move up in
Oh,
weight? She'll go up to flyweight to fight Valentina Shevchenko? Because I'm gonna tell you something,
that would be a fight. That would be
right?
fun.
Right?
That would be
Like
fun.
because look, Valentina Shevchenko is cleaning out the women's flyweight division.
Yeah,
And Rose Namajunas, I mean, look, if she can make the weight, and if I'm not mistaken, she would have to go up in weight.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Which, and again, if she goes, look at, if I'm Rose, I take it because not only is it a super fight, not only will it have the potential to be a main event, but if you lose, it doesn't really matter because not Shevchenko's not in your division. That team's not in your division. You're not gonna lose your belt unless you do like
yeah.
kind of be like, oh yeah, look, I want to be like Amanda Nunes or whatever. But do you think that Rose would chase that super fight with Valentina if she ends up getting this win?
I think it's possible. I think she needs to at least beat one more. I think she needs to beat one more contender. I don't know who it is yet, but that's got to happen before she can show her true dominance like Shevchenko. She made a freaking toy out of Lauren Murphy. That was awful. Did you watch that fight? Okay.
I felt bad. I felt bad.
Yeah, I was like, just go down. Just go down. Like, I was like, it's over.
I will give Lauren Murphy this. When everyone was telling her to get down, she was like, "Yeah, y'all can lick my nuts from the back. Like, if
Yeah.
you want me to go down, you gotta put me down 6 feet.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to take this out. I will give her.
She did, though. She did. She did put her down. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, she did all right. But I'll be honest, bro. Me in there, bro. I'm tapping before the opening bell.
I'm laying down. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, bro, like if this is WCW, I'm doing the finger poke of doom. I'm dropping and it's a wrap, But like,
Yeah.
I give Lauren Murphy credit. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because you got dominated. But the fact that she was able to hang on, I got to give her some props.
Yeah, so I think we hear Ann still there, and I think it's possible we do see a super fight, but it won't be until the later half of 2022 if it happens, just because she's going to have time. She's going to fight 2021. She'll fight somebody else in that division. She'll have to show her dominance that she deserves a super fight.
Right.
Yeah, so moving on to our main event of the evening. This is going to be a fun one. We've got Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. Colby Covington right now is sitting at the number 1 contender spot. And then we got Kamaru, who is obviously the very, very dominant champion. The odds right now, Kamaru is the heavy favorite. Which I understand why. I completely understand why. He's got the reach advantage, he's got the height advantage, and he's dominant. So I want you to break this down, and while you're at it, just go ahead and give me, do we hear and still or and new?
So I'm going and still. I mean, we're
Okay.
looking at a guy in Kamaru Usman who somehow finds a way to not only hold the belt, but to get better every fight. Usually when we see a guy hold the belt, it's more like we see things and a guy's solid. You kind of see him work up and then he is what he is and then he gets the belt. This is a guy who, his ground game has kind of carried him. And he's starting to begin to understand that, look, I need to on the feet, I need to fight. I can't be a one-dimensional guy where I'm just kind of just I don't know. Let me just do my thing. He can't be like that. He's got to have some dimension to him. Kamaru Usman right now is, and I believe it's the same with him and Israel Adesanya. And now I'm putting words are hard. Alexander Volkanovski in this category. It is their division until they choose to surrender it. Okay. Like that's just how I see it right now. Like it's again, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the fact that maybe I'm a little biased. I'm a massive Kamaru Usman fan, and the reason I'm a massive fan is simple. This guy somehow continues to get better.
How can you not like him? Honestly,
right. You know what I mean? Like my thing is usually I'm used to guys kind of just being like, it is what it is.
Here for 1 or 2 fights, and then
but this guy is like he's like the anti-Conor. We're like kind of like, yo, I got success and I am what I am. Kamaru Usman is like, I got success, but I want to get better.
Yeah,
I want to. You know what I mean? He looks to get better. This is a guy who, granted, he's got it. In the sad part about it, this guy has a great submission game. He does. He doesn't really use it if he only has 1 submission victory in his career. But the other 18 split evenly, 19 KOs and 9 decisions. This is a guy who, frankly, if you can knock you out, he can. But his preferred fight is to drag it out.
Yeah.
He wants to take it to the deep waters, let you go, let you drown. Literally look at his timer and go, okay, time to pick him up. Then let you pick up. He'll pick you up, let you get a good deep breath, and he goes, "You ready? Let's go back into it," and then he'll bring you back down again. This is a dude who, frankly, like I said, I believe this is his division, and I don't think anybody really could take it from him. I really don't. This is a dude who, again, like I said, decisions is his love. But if he gets that clean shot, he'll knock you out. Now, Colby Covington, this is a guy who I will give him this, regardless of, and I told you this earlier. I think we're going to see a little chink in his armor. Up until the face-off, this was a guy who, if you beat him 9 times in a row, he was still talk. He was so sure. Like
That's what I like about him, though. He's like always confident.
Yeah, the confidence he has in himself is, frankly, like almost second to none. I think maybe Conor might have him a little edged out.
Yeah.
But the mere fact.
Let me just say this real quick. His trash talking sucks. Oh my, just so bad. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to say that. It is so bad.
Yeah, Colby Covington he can't trash out.
Like, it's entertaining to watch because I just laugh at him.
Yeah,
but it's to the point where it gets kind of annoying by the end of the press conference. It's like, okay, just shut up. Let's get this over with.
Because what sucks about it is, like, guys like Conor and guys like Nate Diaz, they kind of think on their head. Like, they think on their feet, right? So they like trying to spit out new things. Colby Covington kind of relies on the same 2 or 3 punchlines, same 2 or 3 jokes. And
same name, the same Marty Fake News every time.
Yeah, the same thing. And it's like, look, okay, the first time you said it, people chuckled, right? Yeah. Now it's kind of like, all right, bro, at this point, it just looks like you're getting beat because now you're kind of stuttering and you're saying the same stuff and all this and whatnot.
He literally ran out of things to say today that he started talking about his dad who's in jail. Like, I was like, okay, bro, that's a little bit where, like, okay, relax.
And the thing, again, Kamaru Usman took it in stride. He took it in
stride. He laughed about it and said, when are you going to pay for him to get out here? That's like...
And that's the thing, because what Colby wants Kamaru Usman to do is to come in emotional. Emotional, he'll be good. Now, Colby Covington is a dude pretty solid. He's well-rounded. He got 4 knockouts, 4 submissions, and 8 decisions. So, again, this is a dude who, if you want to go in terms of, like, bell to bell, you want to go the whole fight, I'm good with it. I can handle it. Now, here's kind of my worry for Colby Covington. During the face-off, I saw a guy who, I don't know if you want to say scared or nervous, but I saw a guy whose confidence was shaking. Now, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was Kamaru. I don't know if all the trash talk he's done over his career finally caught up to him.
Another thing, those reporters were all on Kamaru's side. They were all saying, your jaw was broken. When are we going to see the x-ray? You know, I think that had a little bit of a toll on his self-esteem. He was like, well, nobody really is here rooting for me.
Yeah, and the thing is like the fans were cheering for him.
Right.
But the thing is, listen, you can always hear the fans cheering, and that's cute. It's adorable. Yeah. But when the people who are asking you questions, when most of them are siding with the other guy, that like you said, that perhaps can take a toll on you.
Yeah.
Very few guys can take that. There's like, guys like Conor McGregor, guys like back a few years ago, Tony Ferguson, a guy that if you booed him, kind of was just like, yo, I'm chilling.
He took it as fuel, almost.
Yeah, exactly. They took it as fuel. They were like, bro, we chilling. We living our best. Yeah. I think Colby kind of saw it. Like, maybe it bothered him. Maybe it was Madison Square Garden. Maybe it was New York. I don't know what it was. But I'm looking at Colby, and he just, when he had pushed Usman, it looked more like not a push you do when you want to type things up. More like I need air. That's what it kind of looked like a little bit. And I say this a lot. Once you got to push a guy away from you just to get air, you're now fighting at a disadvantage, and it's bad. And again, I don't want to. I'm hoping this is a good fight, but at the end of the day, confidence plays a huge thing in this. Yeah, it does. Colby Covington has been working more on his ground game.
Yes.
So now, if Kamaru Usman takes him down, Colby Covington's game plan coming into this will probably be, if you want to go down, we'll go down. But I want to put myself in a position where you can't ground and pound. That's what they're going to want to avoid, where they're going to want to have it, make it look more like resting rather than actual fighting or stuff like that. So with all that being said, I got a second round TKO. I think there's gonna be a solid jab Usman's gonna throw out there, and it's gonna put Colby Covington in almost like a purgatory state where he gets hit and he kind of just does it, like he drops and doesn't move, and he's kind of like a deer in headlights almost. He's gonna go in and finish him, but yeah, that's what I got.
So let's see. Going into this is what I'm gonna pick apart. Okay, we've got Colby Covington, who has switched camps. He's working with MMA Masters now. He's got new coaches. He's got new people around him. He's got new techniques. He has come out publicly and said that he is going to focus on keeping his distance. He's going to focus on, keeping his guard up. We saw last couple fights of his, he likes to fight with his hands down and keep his head on the center lot and just move his head. That's all he likes to do. You can't do that against Kamaru Usman. I feel like he took last fight as almost like a, it was humbling. He was like, okay, well, I took last fight, right? He said, I lost. I'm going to switch camps, work on a different way of fighting, and I'm going to use this to get better. I'm going to use it to my advantage. So I think he did that. I think with this new camp, he goes out and he's going to learn. He's going to keep his hands up. He's going to learn distance. He's going to learn what he can do against Kamaru Usman without getting absolutely destroyed. Like he did well, I said he didn't get destroyed. Without getting those devastating punches against him. Like he did last fight. So I think he keeps his guard up. He works slow. Colby Covington and New by split decision. That's what I'm going to go. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. But I think Colby Covington, I don't think he's the best fighter in this division. I think Kamaru Usman is. I think Colby just has a good night. I think Colby has a good night. I think that's what it is. I think he's got these new coaches. He's got a new fight plan. I want to see it. I want to see how it turns out, right? Because he's going into this fight. He's saying, okay, I got a new camp, new way of fighting, new way of living, new way of this, and that. And he's got all this confidence, too. And sure, tonight, during the presser, his confidence might have deflated a little. It's Colby Covington. His confidence is still through the roof. We know it is. His coaches are good. His coaches know what they're talking about. His coaches know what to do. They've been with him on the ground, with him with his guard. He's been working on. I know that has been the key of this camp. Has been working on his guard. He's keeping his hands up, his head moving, and finding holes. That's all he's doing. He's not working on big old uppercuts and dramatic overhands like he did last fight. He's working on slowly working the pace up. But with Colby Covington against a guy like Kamaru Usman, who, like you said, is kind of a points fighter in a way. Mm-hmm. You have to be in his face to make him uncomfortable. That's what he did last time. That's why he fought a pretty good fight last time, because he was in his face at all times. So, with that being said, like I said, and new Saturday night, this is going to be a great fight. There's no doubt about it. This is going to be a great fight. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be fun. They might go to the ground once, if they even go to the ground. But, and another thing I want to put on top, it's got to happen eventually. Okay, we've seen Kamaru be on top of this division for 3 years now?
I think so, yeah.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen eventually. So
I mean, I do get the eventually part, but at the same time, where I kind of got to give some pushback is like, yeah, he's been on top, but the part that a lot of people aren't really taking into consideration, this isn't the same Usman we saw 2 fights ago. This isn't the same Usman we saw. This is a guy who is still getting better. Like, his striking is getting better. Name how many guys do you know can put somebody down consistently with the jab? There's only one other guy I can name.
Francis Ngannou and Israel Adesanya. That's about the only thing that comes to mind for me. Right. Well, Volkanovski too, but there you go.
No, you're right. We got to put Volkanovski in that conversation because that guy is a savage.
Oh my gosh.
We got to put him in that conversation. So in all the UFC, there's 4 guys we can say that consistently put you down with jabs. Mm-hmm. There's only one guy we mentioned from the welterweight division.
It's Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, there's 4 guys. So there's one in the heavyweight division in Francis Ngannou, one in welterweight Kamaru Usman, one in middleweight in Israel Adesanya, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he is the featherweight
He's
champion.
a featherweight, yeah.
Yeah, so then the featherweight champion, Alexander Volkanovski. I just look, in my opinion, and again, people hate when I say this, and it's just I don't understand where this rabid love for Colby Covington comes from. I really don't. It's almost it's very bizarre, but it's like I see Colby Covington. He's a good fighter. Don't get it twisted. He's a good fighter. He's not great, and in order to take that step, you need to be great. If this was a situation where, let's say, the champion was, I don't know, anybody else but Kamaru Usman,
Yeah.
and literally anybody else, potentially you could give Colby Covington maybe a legitimate chance or something like that. But the way I'm looking at it is like, if it was Gilbert Burns, maybe. If it was Vincente Luque, maybe. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, maybe. But Kamaru Usman is great. Everyone else in the division right now is good. And Colby Covington still hasn't truly addressed what, like, one of the biggest problems was the fact that, like, you tell him to keep his guard up, and he was doing that in the beginning. Like, in the beginning of the first fight, he was. What happened? Kamaru Usman got in his head. Colby Covington has this persona that, yeah, I'm mentally tough, but it's like, no, you're not, because all Kamaru Usman has to do is talk.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to say anything about your family, but he could say, "Hey, Colby, how's the weather?" And your game plan goes out the window. Like Colby Covington has this real legit hatred for Kamaru Usman. I don't know if it's real hatred or if it's only hatred because he's got something I want. I don't know where it is. I'm assuming it's because he wants to be the champion, and whoever's the champion, he's gonna hate him. Champion could be his own grandmother, and he would hate her. I'm pretty sure that's kind of where it's coming from. So for me, it's like, the way I'm seeing it is like Colby Covington is like, the best Colby Covington would have to meet Kamaru Usman on his worst day to even have a legitimate chance, in my opinion, where like Kamaru Usman's getting better, Colby Covington, and look, as much as I think we both agree on this, his confidence and his persona is basically what adds to him being a name that people still care about.
Yeah.
Like, if he kind of was just like, yep, I'm Colby Covington, I'm cool, no one would really care about him. Kind of the same way with Kamaru Usman. Like, before, Kamaru Usman was just, hugging babies, and, he was kissing old ladies and all this stuff. And then he started kind of chatting a little bit, and he's not the best, but him chatting, people kind of started looking at him, And I think it's kind of the same thing with Colby. The only difference is with him, that is his game. Like, if he goes into a fight with not the same confidence, like on a scale of 1 to 10, normally he's a 10. If he goes in at a 9, that's a massive handicap, because his 9 is like a normal person's 6 or 5. You know what I mean? Like, that's how high it is. So Colby Covington's gonna have to come out, and not only do you have to fight the perfect game plan, but he's also got to keep it together mentally, because we know Kamaru Usman is gonna be chatting in the fight to get under his skin.
Yeah.
And Colby Covington can't let that get to him, because if he does, then more than likely he's going to throw his game plan away. And I'm pretty sure that his corner is going to be telling him every round, don't listen to him, don't listen to him, don't listen to him. This is what you got to do, this is what you got to do. And as long as he does that, you could say he has a chance, but that's the question. A guy who's fought like this so long. I mean, look at Conor. Conor came back, and he only had, think about it, only one fight where he didn't really talk trash, and that was against Cowboy Cerrone. And that was
the second fight against Poirier too, and
I don't know, because he was still
he was still chirping a little bit,
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like, I'm talking about like no trash talk whatsoever. Really, was only with Cowboy Cerrone. If you want to say Dustin, that's fine. But the thing is, as soon as Dustin started chirping back,
then it was over with. Then that's why the third fight was like it was. I feel like.
You know what I mean. Like, as soon as he started chirping, that's the thing with, like, once you start chirping at a guy like that, they kind of start worrying more about keeping up the verbal battle, and that's when the game plan kind of goes away. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I I expect a knockout. I really do. I agree with you. It's gonna be bloody.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, I know Kamaru Usman says he doesn't hate Colby Covington, and I kind of believe him. Kind of. I don't think he hates him.
I almost think he says that just to like tell himself that he's like, okay,
That could be a possibility.
you know,
Like,
this guy,
there's no
he's
emotion.
okay, but just so
Yeah.
he doesn't get emotional because we've seen if a guy goes in there emotional, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier 3, it ends
Bad
up
things
bad.
happen.
Yeah,
Bad things happen.
you go in there throwing, and then it ends up
And
bad.
I'll give you a better one for it involved Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo.
Yes.
When Conor McGregor was chirping and chirping and chirping, and Conor was saying that "te va moer," which is Brazilian for "you're gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna kill you." Like, he came in and like he came in aggressive, and Jose Aldo came in basically like an anti-Aldo. Like, that really wasn't how he fought, and that's how he came out. Ended up getting knocked out, and like, look, do I think Kamaru Usman hates Colby Covington? I don't think so. I think it's a step under it.
Yeah. It's like,
Like,
yeah.
I think the only reason he doesn't hate Colby is because he never lost it. I think that's
Yeah.
the only reason. I think if he lost that first fight, it would be hatred. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah,
it's like a
100%.
tick down. But like I said, if he loses to him, even without the belt, I think if they're two old guys and they decide to pull a Ken Shamrock and Hoist Gracie and they go to freaking Bellator and fight in their 60s, and Kamaru loses, it's gonna be hatred. It's gonna
Yeah.
turn to hatred. So, I mean, like I said, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Like I said, I think this is gonna be not Kamaru, Colby Covington's last opportunity, like,
Yeah.
legit opportunity. You know what I mean? I think the only way after that is and even then, it's like there's some guys in this middleweight division who you can make an argument that are scary, and on top of that, we're doing all this without the assumption that somebody from the lightweight division won't move up, or someone
Yeah.
from the middleweight division won't move down. We're doing all this without that assumption. So, if Colby loses, it's gonna put him in this weird state where
He's almost in the same state as Justin Gaethje if he loses Saturday, where
Yes.
you're like, well, I'm in the middle here. What's
Yes.
going to happen? And you've almost got to win out, and you've got to win out with impressive knockouts if you want to have another shot.
Yep, and like I
Well-
said, the only way he'll get a legit shot is if it's like a Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw, where it's like 2-2, and then that last round, it's kind of like, oh, I'm a Kobe fan. He won the round. And it's like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm a Usman fan. He won that last round. I think that's when you almost have to run it back.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially it being a title fight. But like I said, after this, it's going to be tough because, look, right now, obviously, I already said it. Colby Covington's 1, Gilbert Burns 2, Leon Edwards 3, which you believe if Leon Edwards beats Jorge Masvidal, then he'll be entitled.
I think he's next probably.
Yeah, and then Vicente Luque, if you give him probably a guy like Burns or maybe the number 5 guy, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he wins. Let's see where that goes. Maybe Jorge Masvidal right outside at number 6 is Michael Chiesa. He goes on a cute little 2-fight run. All of a sudden, he's in it. And it's like a lot of guys can, kind of really throw their names in the hat. And once you start looking at a guy like Colby Covington, and you've had a couple chances and you lost them, now they're gonna start looking at you weirdly, Well, not really weirdly, but they're gonna start looking over you. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, okay, well, let's, this guy
Almost like how Conor McGregor's looked at right now.
exactly
Right? Because
So,
he's
like,
lost some fights and now he's in the weird position. Okay, but say a guy like, Michael Chandler. Okay, let's just say Michael Chandler loses Saturday night.
right.
And then Dan is like, you know how he has this little man crush on Conor McGregor? He's like, okay, I can give you this Conor McGregor fight. Michael Chandler's like, almost to the point now where it's like, who? Like, you really put me down to that level? Like,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? So,
And the sad part about it is Conor shouldn't be in that position.
right.
But at the same time, I mean, look, I believe Conor shouldn't get another title shot. And this is a
100%.
Conor fan who I love Conor.
I do too.
That is my guy. Like he's very interesting. But where we are now in that lightweight division, you got Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler. You got Islam Makhachev, who is a freak. Will fight you.
Forgot about
He'll
him,
fight someone on Friday, only to pick up another fight on Monday. That's the type of dude we're now looking at a division where it's not just Connor or bust. It's really not. I mean, I've seen people say, "Oh yeah, he should probably drop down to featherweight," and I'm like, I mean, sure, but even then,
I think it's almost the competition's stiffer there than it is lightweight right now.
Right, because my thing is, does he beat Brian Ortega? Possibly.
No,
Max
no, no chance, no chance.
I don't know about that, you know. And again, this is me. I'm saying he'll again. I don't know if he'll beat Brian Ortega.
Brian Ortega is different. He's different. Brian Ortega's different.
Yeah, that'll be his best chance. He's not being Max Holloway. I don't even give him a puncher's chance to do anything with Alex.
That would be ugly.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, where does he go from here? If I'm Colby and I lose, as much as it hurts his pride to do this, I move divisions.
Yeah.
I would, and you know what?
I think he dominates lightweight if he goes to lightweight.
I wouldn't go there.
You don't think he dominates lightweight? I think he dominates lightweight.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You think if he moves up, he dominates? Will he go anywhere and win, you think?
I think the best chance he has to win is middleweight.
Really?
I really do. I do, because look, if he goes up to middleweight, there's already been a lot of rematches. He moves up and he beats any guy in the top 6.
Yeah.
Any guy, and it doesn't matter how he beats him. He beats any guy in the top 6. Immediate title shot.
He's not beating Israel Adesanya, though. No.
Believe it or not, I give him a solid chance.
I think he would have a better chance beating Oliveira or Poirier. And I think he has a better chance of going into lightweight and beating a guy like, right now, Justin Gaethje, and then being the title contender.
But the problem with him going down is like the road is going to be longer.
Right, okay.
Because so many other guys are going to need a title shot. So.
You know, for lightweight, though, it's like embrace the suck for a couple years, and you're in the title picture, and you're not going up against a guy like Israel Adesanya or Kamaru Usman. And he's in a bad position. He is in a very bad position, because he's like, well, if I lose Saturday night, what am I going to do, right? Because I could go up, and we've also heard talks about a super fight with Usman and Adesanya. I mean, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that.
But, and the only reason I don't want to see that is because they're boys. They love each other and all that stuff. So, you know, they're gonna be like, you know, they kind of don't want to fight each other because they don't want to, you know, the whole Nigerian things, you know, with the 3 guys.
Yeah,
who got the belt. So I don't think they're gonna do that. But you know,
we'll see. I mean, so there it is. There's our UFC 268 breakdown predictions. I highly encourage you guys to somehow, if you're watching, somehow find a way to watch this, because it is going to be a fantastic night. It starts, I believe the pay-per-view starts at 10 o'clock. So the main event will probably happen somewhere around midnight, 12:30, somewhere around there. We're going to have some great fights. So, just a second, we're going to see about something else. So, what do you think would happen in the case we get a Adesanya Usman super fight? What's up, Jay?
What's going on?
You want to give your thoughts on Saturday night?
Well, what was the question you were about to ask?
Look, I was going to ask, if we see an Adesanya Usman super fight, what do you think happens? Who do you think wins that fight if it happens? Which is probably not going to happen, but if it happens, what happens?
Oh, man. That right there, style-wise, would probably be one of the greatest fights to, like, witness. I mean, excitement levels would be through the roof. Yeah. I think we'd see some moves thrown in that fight that probably been years since we've seen in the UFC. We'd probably see some you know, that's a hard one. I wouldn't bet that in Vegas. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
I'd stay away from that. But if I had to pick, I'm going to say Usman. He's just he's just more battle tested. I think that he's been through more. He's been through more to get to where he's at than Adesanya. And I think that as far as fights are concerned, he's had the harder fights. He's had his resume versus Adesanya's, I think that the fighters he's fought have been geared towards his
Right.
fighting style. Where on the back end, Adesanya's actually had the leg up because of his fighting style in most of his fights. So I would go Usman all the way with that. And I call it a knockout, and I'd call it like third round.
Yeah,
I think Izzy would win that fight. I think Izzy would win.
Really?
I think Izzy would win that fight. And let me tell you why, okay?
Go.
Let me tell you why. He's fought. I am looking directly at Robert Whittaker fight, okay? And this is why I say this, okay? The height difference, right? Obviously, you're like, well, Usman's shorter, and we talked about how Michael Chandler shorter has an advantage. But if it's Israel Adesanya, I think you're done if you're going up against him because he's got those stupid, crazy kicks. And if you're short, it's easy to hit the target, right? It's easy to hit behind the ear or the chin, wherever you need to hit to finish that. So I take Adesanya in this. I don't think it would be easy by any means.
No.
I would take Izzy in fourth or fifth round. And you got to think, if Usman's like, okay, well, I'm not going to beat this guy standing up. Let me take him to the ground. Israel Adesanya has the best takedown defense in the UFC. You can't argue that.
Brother.
I don't think you can argue that.
Hold on.
Who has better takedown defense than Israel Adesanya?
Oh,
few
Kamaru
people.
Usman, the guy who's never been taken down before.
I don't. Okay, but listen.
He has that legit with him. He's never been taken down before. And
Listen.
I mean, the other.
Who has he fought while he's been champion to be like, okay, I need to take him down to win, though? You see what I'm saying?
That's different. That's
I
different.
mean, yeah,
Right.
but at the same time, because I get your point, but at the same time, that's kind of holding it against him because before he was champion,
Okay.
dude still wasn't able to take him down.
Okay.
You know what I
see
mean?
you're
Like
saying.
that's why I kind of feel like it's a little unfair to use that. Like, again,
Well-
I get where you're coming from. Don't get it twisted. That's a valid point. But again, it's not like he just came in Sunday and Monday. Dana White was like, you know, that Dana White
Right.
privilege. I think you're saying. By the way, I love that line, bro. It
Yeah.
confuses Dana White more and more every time he hears it.
He said today it was brought up. He goes, Dana White privilege. That's all I heard.
He's like, I don't get it. He was like, I don't get it. I was like,
Even if he does, he makes a joke out of it, and that makes
Yeah,
it 10 times
but-
more funny.
you know what I mean? It's like I'm looking at like the guys that he's fought. You know, again, I understand where you're coming from, but me personally, I'm looking at a guy in Kamaru Usman who not only has phenomenal takedown defense and won't be taken down, but he's a guy who, when he takes guys down, is smart with it. If there's no if he shoots and he can't get you, what does he do? Instead of forcing it, like you see a lot of guys try, like a Dustin Poirier try to do. Like sometimes a Charles Oliveira, a Justin Gaethje, instead of forcing it, he goes, all right, lets it go, pushes you off, and goes back to the feet, and then waits for that
Right.
opening. And I think that kind of gives him the advantage because if you really look at the guys that Adesanya has fought, Marvin Vettori was probably the best guy who had the chance of taking him down. And what did he do? He forced it. He would grab him and he would push him up against the cage and wait, and he would refuse to let go, which then kind of plays into Israel Adesanya's hand because he's like, all
Well, that's
right.
the key, though. That's what I'm saying. If Usman goes to shoot a double leg or a single leg, whatever, Izzy's going to do what he does every time. He's going to keep his hands on the shoulder and backpedal until he gets to the cage. And when he gets to the cage, that's where they get in those close encounters. And I take Izzy's chin over Kamaru's any day of the week, especially when we're talking about how much power this guy's got. Dude, listen. I hope this fight happens, so I prove y'all both wrong. Israel Adesanya is better than Kamaru Usman.
Let me
Period,
ask you
point
this.
blank.
Let me ask
Period,
you
point
this. No.
What you
Hold
got?
on.
What you
Let
got?
me ask you this.
I like how you're saying it with confidence.
I mean, hey, and I'm sticking with it, too.
Hey, keep it because, and again, these are two of my favorite fighters in the
too.
sport.
Me too.
So it's like a pick of bittersweet here. But consider this: Izzy gets most of his knockouts due to the chances he takes.
Okay.
Usman knocks people out because of the chances they don't take. They're scared and they freeze up and they get knocked out. Izzy will catch you with something you didn't see, catch you with a wild kick, catch you with a crazy move or a crazy, strike and knock you out. Usman is so methodical that everything you just spoke about that, is going to be an advantage of Izzy's, it won't work no more because
You don't think so?
Usman's going to come in to counter that. I don't think
Okay.
Izzy, when he goes into a fight, he goes into the fight with him. I think Usman goes in with his card and yours.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will say this real quick is I think Israel Adesanya, the way he fights, just his style, it's perfect against a middleweight lifer. His
Correct.
style really wouldn't work if he's fighting someone else in a division. Not to say that
bigger
he
than
can't
him.
fight in other, not just bigger, but also I think also smaller. I think
Yeah.
the reason we've seen him have success is because let's call it what it is. He's the best middleweight on the planet, and I don't
100%.
think anyone here is going to debate that, right? The problem is that he's stagnant, and like I said earlier, Landon, when we look at Kamaru Usman, he somehow not only is holding the belt,
I
somehow
disagree.
gets better every. But
But look, okay. Here's the thing about this.
go ahead.
Let me ask you. Wait. Before you do that, let me ask you this one thing, Landon, because I
ahead.
understand where Pride's going.
I'm all
Think
ears.
of Conor McGregor.
Okay.
He was whooping absolutely everything on earth.
Okay.
Everything that stepped in his ring. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You couldn't take the man down. You couldn't fight him on his feet. There was nothing you could do to this man. He was the best fighter. People were talking about in history, right?
Mm-hmm.
He moved up, got clipped, he gets knocked out. Now he's not the same person he ever was. That's the problem when we talk about the Izzy and Usman thing. I
But
think
Usman's
Izzy,
moving up though.
but it's still a different.
Usman is able to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, and again,
Usman's a bigger fighter too.
Mhm.
right. Yeah, and the thing is, we don't fully know if he's able to. So I just want to throw that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's so many question marks, but
Right.
real quick, let me say.
What?
Marvin Vettori, okay, and I hate using because Usman is way up here and Vettori is way down here. And I hate comparing them, but like their bodies are the same. Paulo Costa and Kamaru Usman, their bodies are the same. They're both shorter than Izzy, and Paulo Costa specifically looks like he's on roids, just like Kamaru Usman. Oh, I'm giving. Hey, no. I'm giving them props. I'm giving them props. I'm giving them props. Hey, I'm giving them props. Listen. But my point is, okay, he went up against Paulo Costa, and who applied the pressure in that fight? I want to ask you.
Paulo Costa.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
But
Listen.
then after that, he looked
Israel Adesanya is going to play. He's not going to go out. If he fights Kamaru Usman, he will not go out throwing shots because he knows Kamaru Usman and what he can do. The only reason he came out like that against Marvin Vettori does not have good knockout power, guys. I mean, he hit Paulo Costa so many times the other night and did not knock him out.
That's true.
So that's why Izzy fought like that.
You talking about Izzy?
I'm talking about Izzy
Paul?
and Vettori. But if we're talking about Izzy and Costa, the reason Costa applied the pressure is because Izzy didn't. Izzy knew if he got caught by Paulo Costa, he was going to get dropped. So if Izzy fights the same fight he fought against Marvin Vettori, Izzy will beat Kamaru Usman with ease. Guys, I don't...
So there's one thing you're missing here.
All right, what am I missing?
You think Paulo Costa has a better knockout power than Usman?
No, I didn't say that at all. What I said was,
then
though...
if Izzy went into the fight scared to get knocked out by Paulo Costa...
I'm not saying he's scared to get knocked out by Paulo Costa. Listen, I'm saying that's how he's going to fight because he knows what he can do. I'm not saying he's scared. Now, you can't go into every fight throwing, though.
No, I agree, Landon. But here's the double-edged sword and why I think Usman is such a great fighter. Because now you just made a great point. Izzy went into that Costa fight, and he was afraid of that knockout power.
Right.
He was trying to stay away from it. The difference is Costa doesn't have the same striking abilities as Usman. You stay away from Usman, and you're going to get hit with something that you're not expecting. You're going to get hit from angles that Costa can't hit you with. So it changes the game. And Usman's striking ability is up there with Anderson Silva's.
100%.
That's where
it's getting better. That's the scary part.
Correct. And we've seen Anderson Silva fight from a distance. He's more dangerous fighting from a distance, being comfortable than he is up close.
Here we go. Now listen, if we're keeping this distance, okay, who's longer in this fight? Who has the longer fighter?
Izzy.
Israel
Hand-wise,
Adesanya. And leg-wise. His legs are longer too. His legs are way longer than Kamaru Usman. That dude...
But here's the thing with that is like...
So, real quick, distance works in Izzy's favor. Okay,
No.
sure,
It does, but at the same time,
sure. Kamaru has
how
that.
do you utilize it though? Like I'm gonna
You
give it
utilize it with kicks, body
I
kicks to keep him
understand that,
back.
but I understand that, but again, we're talking about a Kamaru Usman who utilizes movement. A
That's
guy
what I
who-
was just gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
like
not about, because what you're keying in on is stats. You're keying in on his reach. You're keying in on those measurements.
Okay.
However, you got to look at Usman's his tool bag. His tool bag is ridiculous from distance.
Mm-hmm. It is,
Okay.
and again, this is a guy who, listen, like we were talking about this earlier, Landon. We agreed on this. There's only 4 guys in the UFC
Yeah.
who can consistently put dudes down with a jab.
Now with that, all right? Let me go off of that real quick.
Good.
We've never had to see Kamaru Usman punch up.
He doesn't
Okay.
have to punch up in this. He's not that.
How
bigger
much
than him.
tall? He's probably 2-3 inches taller than him.
But see, that's the thing though. With
But
the
that's not.
You're not punching on a level plane or down. You're punching up, and that's a completely different story. When you're punching up, there's not really defense here, right? Because if you're aiming up like this, you're wide open. You
Look,
can't stay
this
compact with it. You see
aiming
what I'm
up
saying?
here is like a 6-inch dude. He's 2 to 3 inches. We're still here. We're
Right,
still
and
throwing
that's what I was
straight.
trying to say. Like,
Okay,
like,
but still, his angle is going up though. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
but not really though. Not really though, because if you watch how not Colby Covington, how
Usman?
Kamaru Usman punches, he tries to hit you genuinely around here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you bring it down a couple inches, that's about here. That's still
Chin area.
right. He can still do that, and on top of that, this is a guy who, when he throws his hooks, tries to hit you up here.
And he's
couple
spiking.
inches.
Right.
Yeah, so now you drop that a couple inches. You know what I mean? Like, if it was like 5-6 inches, Landon, you got me. But the
And
fact
keep
that
in
it's like
mind,
3,
Izzy's stance. Izzy's stance
Low.
is not a straight up stance.
Up.
Izzy's
Okay.
stance is 4 to 5 inches shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this is why I said, Landon, this is a hard one to pick, because stylistically, this is probably the best fight we've seen since. Man, I had to
It
go
would be a
far back.
banger.
Yeah.
I
It
have
would
to
be
go
a
far
banger.
back. I mean, I can go far back. I probably have to go back far back as Pride or something to get stylistically this perfect matchup.
I think the closest thing we can think of, and this is just off the top of my head, would be GSP and Matt Hughes.
And that
Two
stylistically
wrestlers.
wasn't as close as this.
Right, and that's the best I could think of off the top of my head. But even then, like body wise, Matt Hughes was way shorter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, looking
Way
at
muscular.
Yeah.
Yes, it's kind of crazy how like these two guys are like pretty close in style, and they're in the same ballpark in terms of like their body and stuff like that.
I wanted to say this. I wanted to say this real quick to what Landon was saying earlier when I got off of the topic for a second, but it just came back to me. So when we talk about the Paulo Costa thing, when you look at the body differential, one is super muscle mass and the other one is slender. Muscles, you need way more oxygen on a regular basis to feed those muscles to keep them going. Versus on Izzy's side, his muscles, even though he's strong, his muscle mass is not the same.
Right.
So Acosta's sucking and sucking and sucking for oxygen by round 2. So when you look at that, Izzy was sitting back like, I'm gonna let him wear himself out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him wear himself out, and that's not gonna work with Usman, because Izzy and Usman are the same built, body structure wise, and the way they handle themselves. So that's another thing to me that's gonna be really good to see.
Okay, so obviously Kamaru has more muscle mass than Israel Adesanya. We can agree with that, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like
Okay, okay.
overall.
Right.
But he's
so,
a bigger dude.
True, he is a bigger dude. Yeah, 100%. But I want to go back to the distance, okay? The distance thing we talked about, right? Because I think this is the key to this fight, because we really don't see fights like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. If it does happen, distance is going to be key. Sure, you can sit here and say Kamaru Usman is better. We've seen him from distance. He's good from distance. This, and that. We saw it with Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal tried to keep his distance. He got knocked flushed out. He was on the ground, done. But let me say this, okay? Izzy's kicks are phenomenal. They are phenomenal. He can go low, he can go to the body, he can go high. It does not matter. His kicks are phenomenal. He catches him with one of those kicks. I mean, I don't think Izzy's
But
kicks
vice versa.
are equivalent
Yeah.
to anything Kamaru's been hit with.
What?
I don't know, man.
Listen,
I-
before
I-
you start slandering my boy, bro, we're talking about a mirror image of each other. We're talking
Okay.
about we're talking about a Snickers and a Snickers.
I mean, 100%. At this point, we're looking at a difference between Coke and Pepsi. Like that's really
Bro.
what we're looking at right here, bro. Like
Not even that. It's. I mean, listen. This is what I'm trying to say. Listen.
Go ahead.
Who in Kamaru Usman's career has he fought that hits relatively close in Israel Adesanya? I really want to know this.
And I have the same question for you.
Who? Robert Whitaker.
No, but
No
no,
way.
no, like
And
no.
listen, I am a Robert Whitaker fanboy. I want to be like born. I want to be like him when I
Paul
grow up.
is-
I want to shape up like him. There is no way striking he can even spell Kamaru Usman's name.
No.
There is no.
What about
way.
Paulo Costa? What about Paulo Costa?
Same thing.
Whitaker,
He's got
Acosta,
power,
like
but there's
those
no
guys are the same. Like, no.
I think Whitaker's technique as how Whitaker fights is for the Usman. But listen, and Izzy fought stupid in the first fight against Whitaker, right? He went in and they brawled, and Izzy got lucky and hit him and clipped him. That's what happened.
So real
I
quick,
guarantee you this though: you don't want to go in a brawl with Usman. Usman's whooping your tail.
Probably. But let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
But
me ask
against
you
Izzy, though, I don't know.
Let me ask you something. So, Jorge Masvidal.
Okay. Jorge Masvidal is real quick before you say what I don't know what you're about to say, but I don't compare him
To who?
to really anybody in that middle. Like I don't compare him to any top 3 in the middleweight
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
or top
You
5.
pick him up and you drop him in that middleweight division. He's top 3 at worst.
At minimum.
At minimum, like and
I disagree.
I'm
I
looking
think
at
he
it.
wipes out. Share your screen.
I'm about to show you right now. I'm about to show you right now, so that way y'all know what I'm looking at right here, right now. So it's gonna be right here.
Okay.
So Robert Whitaker, Marvin.
zoom in
I
on
think he
that?
washes Marvin Vittori. I think he.
Yes.
beats him. I think.
I
Wait,
don't.
go back.
No,
You have a problem with who?
with Jared.
Yeah.
He beats Jared up. Dude,
No, he doesn't. I don't think so. I don't think he beats Derek Brunson up either. I don't.
What? You don't think Derek Brunson either?
No, I
have you
don't.
looked at Mandival's
Okay,
list
okay,
of
hold on.
fighters he's knocked out?
No, hold on.
Have you looked at the list he's lost to, dude? He's lost near 20 fights in his career.
Jay. Okay, but you can't
He-
just
he
say
started
that.
different.
Yeah, he started back then, and he's not the same fighter at all now that
This-
he was.
No, this time he gets knocked out by jabs, guys. He hasn't improved.
Landon.
Who we just agreed is
Are
one of
you-
the
That's
four
fine.
fighters that
That's
he's
fine.
knocked out, guys.
Can we
That's
can
all
we
I'm-
can we do one thing here? Because I feel like you're
Hold on,
not-
go back. I want to go watch those rankings. Go back to the rankings.
Okay,
Yes, please.
yeah.
Yeah, pull
Jay,
it up,
hold your thought.
pull it up.
Hold your thought for 1 second. Okay, so Robert Whitaker, I think it'll be close. I give Robert Whitaker an edge over Masvidal.
An edge.
I give him an edge. I think if they fight,
Robert Whitaker would wipe the floor, bro.
I don't.
You're being
If you want to say that, I'll concede because I believe Robert Whitaker will win, so I concede. So that's one. Marvin Vittori
Would beat Jorge Masvidal. He wouldn't knock him out.
He would. Jorge Masvidal would just.
There is
That's it.
no way. No.
Jorge Masvidal would not beat Marvin Vittori.
No.
Bro, you're being disrespectful right now. I don't think you understand what Masvidal. Can we pull up Masvidal's last fights, please?
I'm about to right now.
Can I have a
This
question?
ranking list
Listen.
ain't even working no more.
So, Jorge Masvidal, okay? Give me the top 5 in welterweight, okay?
No, before we do that, I needed to say this because before we leave, do you understand who he is?
Okay, so all right here. So
Did we lose Landon?
Did we? Landon, you still here?
Oh, I think we lost him. No,
He'll
but
be right back.
yeah, I'm sure he's coming back in. But
But the way I
don't
look
even
at-
go through this yet because we need him.
Yeah,
but-
you're right. But here's my thing when it comes to it is like, because people look at Jorge Masvidal and just look at the L's. Oh, he's back. All right, we got him. So
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Let me
Can y'all hear
see.
me? I don't know what just
Here,
happened.
so hold on. Seth, before you go anywhere.
No,
Yeah,
hold on. I don't want to forget it. hold on, Pride. I don't want to forget it because I'm gonna try to say it for a minute because I think me and you kind of agree on this. Landon, I don't think you understand who Masvidal is. Masvidal is a backyard fighter.
That's fine.
A backyard street. No, that's fine. That was a very nonchalant wipe off. This guy is fighting people that grew up breathing MMA, and they're professionals now. This guy is fighting people that had professional fights in MMA when he was fighting in a backyard in Florida. He didn't have professional training. He went from a backyard and in 1 year was fighting in the UFC for titles, bro. Remember who it is. Put some respect on Masvidal Lane. When we talk about knocking people out, that was legit, just power.
Yeah, and by the way, before I forget,
I don't think that's helping your point.
Somebody here said that I believe he's talking about Jorge Masvidal being overrated.
He is.
But here's the thing. When people say he's overrated, they're just looking at the record and saying.
Okay, you can look at record, and when he loses, you can look at the way he loses. Now, granted, listen, before y'all say anything, he lost to Kamaru Usman that way. I 100% agree. Kamaru Usman is a different breed. Okay? But you cannot even say Jorge Masvidal is Colby Covington's level. You can't say that. Because
he will knock Colby Covington the hell out.
Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, okay, yo, hold on. Time out. We need to assemble. Usman's not even all that good.
Okay. Now, you know what? I might just have to agree with you because of what that guy just said. And he said Masvidal is overrated. You know what? No, Masvidal is the greatest. I'm just joking. Listen. No, what is...
The only way you can say that he's overrated is...
I didn't know he was talking about Kamaru Usman.
He's talking... This was talking about Kamaru Usman. He said
that's
Usman's
what I'm saying.
not even all that good with stand-up and he knocked him out. But Usman isn't really not that good. This is a guy who rocks. He puts people down with jabs.
Kamaru Usman is a beast.
Yeah, but real quick. Let's go back to the divisions because I really believe this in my heart of hearts. This is what I believe. So he beats Vettori, he beats Jared, he beats Derek Brunson. He wipes Paulo Costa, and it's not even close. I think he ends up he gets him released. Then 6 down. Masvidal's handling everybody. So at worst, looking at this based on because look, so let's say he beats none of them, right? Let's say he doesn't beat any one of the top 5. This is still a guy in his stage of the career. You pick up, drop him. He's top 6 in the middleweight division. 1 win gets him a title shot. A win, dare I say?
Agreed.
Whittaker, outside of Robert Whittaker, he doesn't have a shot.
That could be his introduction fight, Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker's fighting the title.
No. What I'm saying is that could be his introduction fight, Robert Whittaker, into that division, and he would still perform well. He would
not beat Robert Whittaker, guys.
Landon, what is your before we go any further? What's your personal gripe with the dude? I feel like
I love Jorge Masvidal. I love Jorge Masvidal.
It has to be a personal gripe.
I'm gonna put it to you this way: I believe he has a legit shot against Robert Whittaker?
No.
No. Let me ask you a legitimate question. And Jay, I think you and I are on the same. I'm gonna answer the gripe thing. He put money on the on Usman.
Look at the comment.
Dude has one against Hillstorm, beat the shot. He has overrated. Where you just go Masvidal is okay. I mean, look,
listen,
Masvidal. Masvidal is one of the few guys who I don't look at his record in terms of his overall record because he literally is a tale of 2 fighters. Like he came in with no training, and you can tell he basically brought the street fight stuff into the octagon. He basically did what Kimbo Slice did before Kimbo Slice did it. Like he was the prototype of Kimbo Slice. Like he kind of did all that fight stuff, came to the octagon, and with no training, none of that, did what he did, then went to train. And I don't care what anybody says. That knockout over Ben Askren was not luck. I don't care what anybody says. You know what that was? That was scouting, knowing he was a wrestler, knowing he was going to shoot, and he met him with his knee. Anyone who says that knockout, that Ben Askren knockout was luck.
But why are we talking about Ben Askren? Ben Askren is not on any of these guys' levels. I just want to say that.
No, he's not.
Coming in, he was.
Grappling wise, he's one of the best in the business.
That's fine. That's fine.
But what I was getting at is I just think that you're highly off on Masvidal's talent level.
I don't know.
I think that there has to be something in underlining because of the disparity in where in the amount of
Listen.
like.
So
There's a big disparity in it.
Yo, Landon, we went from what's your gripe to
Apparently, I dislike the dude. That's what he said. Listen.
Again, I'm gonna say this right now. Outside of Robert Whitaker, I think everyone else, if not Wash, he sure as hell beats everybody there. I think Robert Whitaker is really the only guy, and dare I say, maybe I'm going a little crazy.
You think he beats Israel Adesanya? No.
He might be Israel Adesanya.
That's crazy.
Maybe
No.
Listen.
That's where it
Jay,
starts.
That's.
I'm reeling it back, Jay.
Yeah, please. Okay, now you're.
But,
Yeah,
but
that's
I will
where
say
it
this though.
stops. But again,
compared to everyone in the division, I think he gives it a good fight. I really
Dude,
do.
y'all are talking about Jorge
I'm not
Masvidal
far
like he's McGregor in his prime. Like he isn't. Okay.
No, because I feel like you really took an undercut on him. Like the dude,
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think at this level, the only difference between the guys that are up there in that division, Lennon, is just experience. That's the only thing that would trump Masvidal in this division. When we're talking about Adesanya, when we're talking about Whitaker, those really that's where I'm gonna stop. But when we're talking about those two, it's just the experience is gonna get over on him, and that's how he got knocked out in that last fight. Just that experience and not seeing.
Well,
and
Kamaru Usman is stupid better than Masvidal.
10 times,
Don't
tenfold.
get it twisted, but at the same time, we also need to get some props because you're acting like this.
I'm
was
not.
a bum.
Whoa, he's not a bum.
But that's what you're trying to portray. He beat Darren Till. I'm looking at the records right now. He beat Donald Cerrone. Mind you, he beat Donald Cerrone in 2017 when Cowboy was, dare I say,
He didn't go 5
wasn't
rounds
no
with Usman.
bum.
He went 2.
No. The first which one? Oh no, the first fight. If I'm mistaken, first fight. I'll double check it right now because I know he lost. He lost to.
I'm talking right. Okay.
Yes.
Whenever these.
The first fight he lost to Usman, he went 5 rounds, and this was a major knock. Like casuals who know nothing about fighting tried to say that this
He
was
did
the
it in
biggest-
2 weeks.
He did it in 2 weeks.
Okay,
and
that's
then
impressive. When did this happen?
So, right
His first
before
fight,
the,
he filled in. He filled in for
in 2020, right, bro?
yeah.
He fought Kamaru Usman back to back.
right before COVID. He filled in the fight 2 weeks beforehand, and that's why Usman, out of a gentleman's response to him, gave him
Gave him
time
that
to
rematch.
prepare to go get him again. Because remember, he took who was it that got out of it? What he hurt him? Didn't he hurt his leg or broke his hand? He was about to fight somebody. They broke his hand in
Yes,
training.
I forgot who they're talking about. He was going to fight somebody. Then they pulled out due to an injury. I'll tell you right now.
Was it Covington?
It might have.
Yeah, it was
been.
Colby. It was Colby. Colby was supposed to fight him. Colby got hurt in camp. Colby pulled out.
Yes. And then the consolation fight for
yes,
Covington.
and then Masvidal.
Woodley. It was
Yes.
Woodley. It was that consolation fight. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Covington would beat Jorge Masvidal.
Stop.
Colby Covington would beat Jorge.
Stop.
Colby Covington's gonna beat Kamaru Usman Saturday night, guys.
Hold on.
You are crazy.
Let me ask you a
Watch.
question.
Watch.
Let me ask you a question.
Watch.
This is legit.
Listen, when Colby Covington beats Kamaru Usman Saturday night, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I want both of you back on here praising me. That's what I want. I want both of you on here praising me after Colby Covington beats Kamaru Usman Saturday.
You're talking
This
too
is how confident
confident.
I am.
I'm confident.
Jay, this is how confident I am. See, I'm in another group chat, right? And one of the guys out there, Jace, I love you, Jace, bro. He made a bet where he would shave his head, right?
I ain't betting that, no. I ain't betting that, no.
No. Sanders got us. It was supposed to be Burns.
Yeah, I didn't think it was supposed to be Covington.
No, it wasn't.
It was supposed to be.
Burns.
Yes, it was. He got COVID.
No,
Oh, you're talking. Oh.
no, because
Yeah.
that's only 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks.
Out for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That
but
was
he.
2 weeks before the fight.
Yeah, you can't, and especially back if it happened in 2020, back when it was bad, then they were definitely not
Yeah.
saying you can't just wait 2 weeks and go back
It
in.
was 14. It was a 14-day quarantine plus.
So then he would have literally been out of quarantine on fight day. That you can't fight. Like
Fucking let them fight, bunch of pussies. They never. But maybe it was him, but regardless, the fact remains whether he stepped in, whoever he stepped in, shit, he could have stepped in for nobody, bro. But
Yeah.
the fact that this dude showed up on 2 weeks and took Usman 5 rounds, granted, I understand, Usman kind of likes taking dudes 5 rounds.
And you've also said, listen, you have also said that Usman has gotten better.
Yes, and he has gotten better.
So that doesn't really help you much.
And don't get it twisted, he has, but this is just my thing. This is just my thing on it. When it comes to Jorge Masvidal, I genuinely believe that if he moves up, because like I said, bro, outside of Robert Whitaker, I think he has not a chance. I think he has a great chance against everyone else. Does he beat Adesanya? Probably not. I mean, maybe if he gets
Definitely not.
lands
There's no way.
If he lands one of his shots that he's trademarked, maybe. But I say, I think he gives it a hell of a show, and I think it's better than what we can see outside of Robert Whitaker. Okay, let me ask you a question. And again, I'm gonna pull up the rankings so that way you can let me know. So he doesn't beat Robert Whitaker, correct?
He does not beat Robert Whitaker.
Marvin Vettori.
It's close. I think I'll give Vettori the edge.
Okay. Jared.
Jorge Masvidal. That's close. Yeah, I go Jorge. In that fight.
Okay. Derek Brunson.
I think Derek Brunson beats Jorge Masvidal.
Okay. Paulo Costa.
Paulo Costa loses big time. Gets
So
wiped.
right now, as is, he would be fourth. He would be fourth,
but he would not get past Whitaker, Brunson, or Izzy. Sit him at fourth. That's fine. That is literally the equivalent to what he is right now. He's sixth, but sixth in welterweight is fourth in middleweight. I mean, let's be real. You see what I'm saying?
And that's true. He is sixth, but again, to go up, like I said, looking Marvin Vettori, and I get
Marvin Vettori's tough, dude.
And listen, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't his biggest fan. The only fight I pulled for him was the one against Costa. You and I, I thought Costa would win because of the whole weight thing, but Marvin Vettori handled his business. But again, I just don't. Outside of Robert Whitaker, if you put, matter of fact, start him at 15.
Okay.
If you put Marvin,
Jorge,
you put Jorge,
he would walk through. He would walk.
He would walk. Let's say you put him at 15.
100%.
He walks through. He walks through number 14 to 2. Easy. He walks through all of them on the same.
You don't think Derek Brunson gives him a fight?
Maybe a fight, but I still think he walks through him.
Really?
I really do. And again, I'm not the hugest.
I don't know. I'm a big Darren Till fan, though. I like Darren Till. So.
And I'll give Darren Till a shot, but at the same time, I really think it all comes down to Jorge Masvidal right now in his career is yeah, sure, I'll fight for a title, but I want your cheek.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, we also have to understand that Masvidal is a guy who likes pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And if 100%. You look, Marvin Vettori, when it comes to pressure, he doesn't handle it well. He kind of mostly grapples a guy.
We saw Adesanya Vettori too.
Right, so he kind of rappels guys up. Let's 100%. See, Jared.
That would be close, but I would give pressure. The edge.
He could handle it, but not as great as anyone in the welterweight.
100%.
Derek Brunson, he can't handle pressure like that.
Well, okay, listen, you cannot say that yet. Do not say that until we see what happens against Jared. Do not. You know
what? You're right.
We'll see what happens then.
On the sideline for now, because let's see what happens there.
That is pressure at its finest, because that's just about you're saying, okay, whoever wins this is the next title shot. Right. We can agree.
And you're saying that, right? You're saying that they're 3 and 4, and guess who would be fourth? Guess who would be fourth in the world we're bringing up? In your world, guess who's that fourth guy? Jorge Masvidal.
But that's so unrealistic, though. Not that fast. Not that fast. If he's sitting at, I think he starts at 5th or 6th. If we bring him up right now, he's not going to start top 5, because that's just so unfair. That's like saying,
look, they did it for Conor. I'm just
you want to talk about Dana privilege? Talk about Conor McGregor. Listen,
Dana white privilege.
Dana white privilege.
So remember how earlier we said that we need DC to always just come out screaming Thug Rose.
Yeah.
I want one guy at every single presser to literally just throw out a line, "Hey Dana White, who's the next guy to get that Dana White?" I just want one.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think Michael Chandler, when do you think he deserved the title fight, or did he get the Dana White privilege? Because Charles Oliveira was saying it was Dana White privilege. Tony Ferguson was saying it was Dana White privilege. What do you think?
I get why they said that. I do.
But I think he deserved it.
Exactly. This isn't a rookie.
Exactly.
It's a guy who you could say dominated in Bellator. And
Dominated, yeah.
And while he kind of did his thing, hold on, let me give my son his bottle because he's being
Okay.
Here you go. Here you go. All right, I gotta hold him.
You're
Give
good.
me 1 second. But now, when it comes to that, I don't think it was really that Dana White privilege. I just think it was like we imported a guy,
Right.
and we gotta see, is this guy legit? We gotta make sure he's legit. So they put him against Dan Hooker.
Right. He dominated.
And when I saw that fight, I was like, if he doesn't get a title shot, his next fight's got to be a #1 contendership.
Right.
The way he came out, no rust, no nothing.
And that was a pressure situation. That was a main card.
Right. And again, we also got to consider who we're talking about. Charles Oliveira is kind of salty because remember, the UFC.
It took him a long time to get there.
And they almost let him go.
Yeah.
They almost let him go before he kind of had this whole epiphany or whatever. And then again, with Tony Ferguson, he's always wanted that fight. He's always wanted the Khabib fight to unify, and it never worked. It never really panned out for him. Khabib kept getting injured, and then he ended up starting to go on the downward, and then all of a sudden he just didn't look the same.
Right.
It was so much. So when you start looking at those two guys, it's like maybe, like, you know what I mean? But in terms of it being that Dana White privilege, I don't think when it came from Michael Chandler, no, because let's say if it was a guy who, I don't know, like Eddie Alvarez, right? Like Eddie Alvarez is over in one championship. He's doing solid, you know, not the Eddie Alvarez we all remember, but
Right.
he's doing solid. If he were to come back and get a title shot, that's that Dana White privilege.
Yeah.
110%. But when you look at a guy like Michael Chandler, who was doing his thing, was dominating in Bellator, and remember, they wanted to push Ben Askren up there too.
Yeah.
That's something people kind of forget. And then he ended up, you know, he lost 2 out of 3, and then they were kind of like, yeah, we're good. And then he was like, yeah, my hip's bad. And then it was like, all right, bro, you're definitely good.
Yeah.
Get out of here. So I think it all really, you know, I get why they're upset, because let's be honest, if I'm them, would I be upset? Yeah. But it's because of the situation, you know. Charles
And it's not like he went out there and got destroyed against Oliveira.
Yeah, you know.
That's what.
It's not like he went out and, like, you know, you know what I mean. Round 1, he came out, he handled his.
That was a
business.
10-8 round. I mean,
I've seen a lot of people say it was a 10-8, and I don't disagree.
yeah.
But again, credit to Charles Oliveira. He came out and he was like, "Yo, f that noise." He was like, "F that noise."
And he said, so whenever Chandler beats.
By the way, it's with an X. It's Xander.
Whenever, oh my gosh, I went blank. Charles Oliveira, no, not Charles Oliveira. Yeah, whenever, oh my gosh. Charles Oliveira beat Michael Chandler. He went to the commentary table and said, surprise, surprise, because whenever Michael Chandler beat Dan Hooker, he looked at Daniel Cormier and said, surprise, surprise. And it was like, you know,
Yep.
that's where I was like, that's where he's mad, because he's like, this dude just literally walked up and just, you know what I'm saying?
And again, I get it. Like from Charles' point of view, I really do understand. I get it. But again, Charles needs to understand. He wasn't meant to be a champion.
Right.
He was meant to be released. When they in essence imported Michael Chandler, it was with the hopes that not only was he going to beat, like, their goal, if Dana White got what he wanted, it was end up going to be a fight. Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler for the title. Whoever was the champion, Dana White didn't care. That was what he wanted, and that's what he wanted bad. Charles Oliveira got in the way of that. Mm-hmm. And I think Charles Oliveira understood that.
Yeah.
I think he understood, bro, nobody really wanted me here. No one really cares for me to be here.
And he's still like that. No, everybody's kind of looking over him. He's like, okay, Dustin Poirier's coming in. Dustin Poirier's going to knock him out.
That's what a lot of people are saying. And again, Do I think Dustin's gonna win? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ride the hot hand. I'm gonna stick with Charles for some unknown reason. And it's weird because I've been betting against him. I thought Michael Chandler was gonna win.
I thought he was too.
Yeah, and then
Well, I'm also I can't pick Michael Chandler fights because it could be Michael Chandler versus freaking Francis Ngannou. I was like, Michael Chandler by knockout. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, 100%. Like
I'm a huge Michael Chandler fan though.
I like. Listen, bro. I call Michael Chandler Iron Mike.
Yeah, me too. Iron Michael Chandler.
Like, yo, you guys watch Iron Mike fight, and they go Mike Tyson, and I'm just like, oh, uncultured swine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, I understand why they're upset. I think Tony Ferguson is more upset because he's never gonna get that shot.
Tony Ferguson would get destroyed by Michael Chandler, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it would be a fight.
Right now, unfortunately, I think so. I really do, and it sucks because, listen, I was a Tony fanboy. I believed in my heart of hearts.
I can't stand Tony Ferguson.
Really, I believed in my heart of hearts. If that fight with him and Khabib ever happened, 100%, I believe in my heart he would have dominated. That Ferguson.
Really?
I believe so. I believe there's one man who would have been able to stop him, and I think it would have been Tony. Because
See,
Tony,
I think that one man.
Who you think it is?
Dustin Poirier.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna get mad at you.
I think Dustin Poirier.
I'm talking about at the time.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like right now. Oh, okay, my bad. No. Okay, I see what you're saying. Tony Ferguson, when he wanted the fight, he would have beat Habib.
When he had the interim belt.
And that's why people are saying Habib is such a what's the word? Like a fake, like a fake undefeated, fake this, fake that, because he didn't fight good. He fought good fighters, but he fought here and there. It's not like Kamaru Usman is. He's fighting Colby Covington, Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal. He's fighting all these good fighters back to back to back to back, and he's showing why he's dominant. Same with Israel Adesanya. Same with Francis Ngannou. Same what Francis Ngannou is going to do is going to be like that. Same with Alexander Volkanovski. So that's why people are like, Khabib isn't this big scary dude that we're all seeing, right? And I understand that to a point.
I get it to an extent. Because
he's still undefeated in the fight game.
At the beginning of his fight, he fought Gleison Tibau, which at the time, Gleison was nice, but and then Pat Healy, which I understood. But then you look at his last three, and this is where I kind of start make the argument. Again, I'm not a Khabib fan, but when you start looking at his last three, the last three guys he beat in this order, it was McGregor, which. Yeah, I get it. Conor won one round, which no one has ever done before. Yeah. Guess what? There was 5. There was 4 of them that he completely dominated, right? So he beat him. Then he beat Dustin by the rear naked choke.
Right.
I kind of was like,
that's about all. That's about all he's got is a rear naked choke whenever they get on the ground, though.
Right.
Right. I mean
that, and then he had the Conor one was a neck crank, and then the one against what's it called Justin, which he got him in a triangle. And for me, I look at those 3 and I'm like, this is what I think could have been.
You can't even count Justin Gaethje because that was so bad.
He was but
that
again,
was so bad.
Listen, before that fight, we thought Justin had a chance.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
After the fight, we were like, and me specifically, I'm like, what am I thinking?
I was like, who is this dude? Like, this is not the Justin Gaethje we saw.
Right, and at the same time, we also have to take into consideration the fact that, like, Khabib, the first round he lost was, if I'm not mistaken, against Conor.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this guy is going out, and if it's fighting 3 rounds, he's winning 3. If it's 5 rounds, he's winning 5. This guy is making these fighters, these professional fighters, look like just high school amateurs.
Yeah.
I think that's also what adds to his legacy, the fact that, like, they're professionals. But if I didn't know anything about the UFC, I wouldn't know it because of how great they are. So, but yeah, I get your point about the Khabib, but at the same time, his domination and those last 3, I gotta give him props.
Right. So we've covered UFC 268. We've covered everything in between. We talked about possible super fight. We talked about contenders. We talked about this and that. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight. We've gone for almost 2 hours. ASAP Network, Real Talk, I believe. Is Real Talk tonight? Is that next?
I believe so.
At 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Make sure to go and check Real Talk out. Freddie and the guys on there. It's always fun to watch.
Freddie Facts.
Freddie Fat. Oh, something like that. Yeah.
Wait till I come back on Monday.
That ASAP in the morning, Monday. That's what you're gonna be on, right? Is ASAP in the morning?
Oh yes. 10 Central. Oh no, 10 Eastern time. 9 a.m.
I might have to make an exception and be there. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I'm telling you right now, bro. We literally talk about it all. Like we talk about football, basketball, baseball, college. You name it, bro. If there's anything going on in it, we talk about it.
I'll be there. I'll talk to Freddie, obviously, but we'll see. So anyway, with all that being said, my name's Landon Hammonds. I'm with Pride Valley. It was a fun night. Fun show.
I'm rewatching The Presser.
Please. That's what I'm going to do too. Oh my gosh, it was fun.
And, oh my, bro, it really was nice. It was nice. And I love how calm Rose Namajunas was.
Me too. Just saying, I'm the best in the world. That's all there is. That's all there is.
She's like, I'm the best. Like, what do you want me to answer, bro?
Yeah.
What'd you eat for breakfast? I'm the best.
I'm the best. Yeah.
That's how she was, bro.
So, if you haven't watched Presser, go watch it. Saturday night, I'm not sure what time we're going to start the stream yet. We're going to have to talk about that. But we are going to be doing a little watch party thing, first ever, but for UFC 268. We're going to start with the feature bout, watch the Namajunas fight together. We're going to watch the Colby Usman fight together. We're going to watch the whole main card together, so make sure to check that out.
And before I forget, while it's going on, I will be giving live updates on the Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Smith fight. Because
that's also a big fight.
Yes.
Look, why did they have to have that the same day as 268, bro?
Because the fighting gods don't love people.
Because I would listen. If it was last weekend, I hate to say it, I would have watched the Canelo Plant.
Oh, 100%. No, I'm with you. 100%.
So, but yeah, that's gonna be a good one. So I'm gonna need you to keep me updated on that, and I will focus on 268, keep me updated on that. So there we go. Saturday night's gonna be fun. We're gonna be here. We're gonna watch it together. We've been talking about it. I'm confident on my boy Colby Chaos. We'll see what happens, man.
I got the Nigerian Nightmare.
It's gonna be fun. So make sure to check that out. Thanks for watching. It's been 2 hours. So if you stuck with us, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yes.
So there we go. From Pride, my name's Landon Hammonds. Thank you for watching.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.